Hello and welcome to another fun-filled nonsense retrospective. I'm your host as always, Rick. Joining me equally as always is Devon.
Hello.
Yeah, today we're doing something, we tend not to do bottom fives very often. Today we're doing a bottom five. But before we get into it, we're going to do our good old time-honored tradition of the nonsense asinine hypotheticals. What have you got for me today?
It's a bog-standard simple one. I might have asked it before, and I appreciate your comic knowledge isn't necessarily as good as mine.
Sure.
With that being said, a non-gag character from Marvel gets their own MCU entry into the MCU. I worded that wrong, but you know what I mean. Who do you pick and why?
I kind of want to see...
It can be a team.
Yeah, I kind of want to see some prequel stuff. So, Hank Pym already exists in the MCU, but all we've seen from his days of activity as an active hero are like a couple of flashbacks. I think there's a lot of mileage in past things when he's like super active.
Okay, so my idea was someone who's not been in the MCU at all.
Okay, so I'll have to think a little bit harder about that then. So the characters that I can think of have already appeared in some way. Like, I like She-Hulk. She's obviously already got a show.
Yeah, so that's a real big discounted.
Yeah. Like, yeah, she could have a movie, but no, I think she serves episodes better.
Yeah, I don't think she'd do well in a movie setting on her own. Like, you'd need other characters in it.
Yeah.
Just like Daredevil. Daredevil doesn't fucking work in a movie setting, really. So him having his Netflix series really did bolster the popularity of the character.
Yeah. White Tiger.
I'm not familiar with White Tiger.
Neither am I very much. I've used her as a card in Marvel Snap, and she's pretty good. She just makes a tiger appear at another location. I could probably come up with a better one with a bit more thought. But who's going to be your pick? Who's going to be your MCU addition from outside of what's currently in the MCU?
Oh, Jesus, man. That was really nothing was gained because we don't know anything about the character, Rick.
Yeah, well...
We don't even know what she's from, who she's associated with. Fuck.
I've seen her in an episode of one of the Spider-Man expanded ones. She was in a little mini-team with Squirrel Girl as well, and Spider-Man, when they're all kind of, like, staying in a dorm that's, I think, S.H.I.E.L.D. operated.
This feels like a fan fiction, Rick.
It was a cartoon, but yeah.
I'm not saying it's not. I'm sorry, guys. I've got something lodged in my throat, so you're going to hear some coughing. I think it was S.H.I.E.L.D. Then again, to be fair, like 9/10 of fucking Marvel content is S.H.I.E.L.D. did it.
Yeah, it's either S.H.I.E.L.D. or something that's trying to be S.H.I.E.L.D., like Sword.
Yeah. As for me, I'm cheating slightly because they got a cameo, but I don't count it as MCU, but I want to see Venom in real MCU capacity.
Yeah, fair enough. Like, I discounted Venom and by extension people from that particular movie, so Carnage as well, because of that. I think Carnage is a pretty good thing to look at, but not as a protagonist, but
go on, sorry.
You could kind of like have a horror movie that's just following Carnage.
I mean, it would be a slasher film, and slasher films suck.
Yeah.
But yeah, if you really wanted to, I would have even accepted Morbius, because the Sony universe is very distinct from the MCU, as much as people like to pretend that it's part of the MCU. I say people, Sony executives like to pretend it's part of the MCU.
Yeah, and man, there's technically already Blade as well, because he appears as a voice role in the Eternals. Oh, Jesus. So we can't even pick him.
We also know we're getting Blade.
Yeah, fair enough.
Like, I don't know when the film's I don't even know if it's a film or a series. Like, I don't care. I like that actor a lot, and I'm glad he gets another MCU shot, because he played... I've forgotten the villain's name. I think it's Cottonmouth in Luke Cage.
Okay.
Yeah, which has been canonised now, I think. But, the actor's good, that's all I'm saying.
Yeah, because of the Kingpin, it canonises all of the Netflix stuff.
Well, and Daredevil, motherfucker.
Yeah, okay, yeah. But the Kingpin came in first, didn't he?
Yeah, but we weren't sure at that point how much that actually meant.
Yeah.
Rick, what are we doing?
We're doing a bottom five today. I've got a question for you, though.
Sorry, we're still on questions. Fuck, my bad.
Also in the Marvel vein, I enjoyed the What If series. What's a what if that you would like to see that hasn't already been done?
Oh, we did this.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, we'll do it again, shall we? Okay.
Yeah.
Rick, we did a review on What If.
Yeah, we did.
I don't know. What if they fucking got their fingers out their asses and actually brought White Vision back and did something with that plot point from 5 years ago?
I like that, actually, yeah.
A lot of my what-ifs in my brain are, hey, do you remember this plot point that they seeded and then just didn't follow up on because they've got this roadmap, but that roadmap has a lot of forks that just end?
Yeah, and a lot of things that just get put down are something that the writer for that thing did, and then they've not been hired again since.
Rick, what about you?
Mine was just like a play on words, really, of what if Black Widow got a symbiote and actually played into the Black Widow aspect of her hero name by also being a spider person.
Fair enough. Like, the unfortunate reality is, like, it doesn't matter who gets the symbiote. If they don't already have powers, then they're automatically a bit boring.
Yeah. They just become Venom with a different mentality.
Like, my favourite thing about the Venomverse comic run is when they rope in Eddie Brock into the Venomverse. The first thing, I can't remember if it's Deadpool or Rocket Raccoon, one of them just goes, why the fuck have we brought this one in? He can't do anything special. Because compared to it, like, you've got a fucking Venomized Captain America who gets his shield and does dumb bullshit, and other Venomized Deadpool is legitimately scary.
Oh, yeah. Carnage Deadpool as well.
Yeah, well, that's just fucking... I've never seen a Carnage Deadpool.
Yeah, fair enough.
In fact, as far as I'm aware, Carnage is actually a bit unique in that he... in almost every single universe, he bonds with Cassidy.
Yeah. Like, the only one I can think of that he doesn't is, other than maybe Carnage Deadpool, who might be a fever dream, Spider Carnage, where he does bond with Peter.
But the thing that you might be thinking of with Deadpool being Carnage is when Deadpool fought Carnage, he got the 5 bullshit jobber symbiotes bonding with him, so you might be thinking of that weird algorithm.
Yeah. I think he got one from a dog as well, didn't he?
That's exactly the same comic we're talking about. That dog transported all 5 of those symbiotes to Deadpool.
Yeah. Jobbers versus Carnage.
But those jobbers are bonded to Deadpool in a Deadpool comic.
Sure. And yeah, he ends up looking a bit like Carnage.
Possible. I can't remember the exact design. Like, I could dig up the comic book, but we only have so much time. That comic run ends with Carnage just walking into a local prison and just sitting in a jail cell, muttering to himself, and 2 local guards going, "The fuck do we?" Because he's still carnaged up. He's not even as Cletus. And the 2 jail guards are like, "Should we lock the door?" And the other guy's just like, "What's the fucking point?"
Yeah.
And yeah, Carnage just sits there muttering to himself, going, "But if I do this, he'll do this," and then basically Deadpool makes Carnage go insane temporarily because that's the only way the writer could feel he could solve the plot that he wrote for himself.
Yeah. So yes, today we're doing a bottom 5 MCU films. This is all subjective. We're not trying to be too negative, except, it's a bottom 5. We're going to be negative.
Well, do you want to tell the audience whose idea this was so they can blame the right person?
This was my idea.
In case you don't listen to the planning sessions.
Yeah, it was a rough planning session. I was trying to scrape the bottom of the barrel, and how better to scrape the bottom of the barrel than a bottom 5? So before we start up, do you have any honourable mentions?
Oh god, no, I didn't bother doing that. Do you?
Well, technically Madame Web, because it's
not
the
part
only
of the MCU, so...
Yeah, exactly. That's why it's an honourable mention. It's the only superhero movie since Fantastic Four that I haven't even drummed up the bother to watch.
Oh, there's been plenty for me.
Yeah. I even watched Morbius. I watched it on a plane.
I also watched Morbius. I paid proper money to watch Morbius because I wanted to see the trash fire, and boy, that was a trash fire.
Yeah. I've not seen Aquaman 2.
That's DC. I also haven't watched Aquaman 2. I haven't watched any DC movies since Suicide Squad, the James Gunn one.
Yeah. Which I liked.
Yeah, it was good.
Yeah. So, what's going to be your number 5? The least bad of the bad.
Captain Marvel.
Okay. Yeah. I've got it on my list as well.
Yeah, I don't think this is the worst film in the MCU by any imagination, but it's made even worse by the fact that I recently watched The Marvels, and it's like, how did they fuck it up? Because The Marvels was fine.
Yeah. A lot of people rank The Marvels lower, and I'd say it's because of the 90s nostalgia. The 90s nostalgia is cute. But the thing is, it was the filler movie between Infinity War and Endgame. All it was there to do was explain why Captain Marvel's logo is on Nick Fury's pager.
I was going to say, I also think the placing of this movie hurt it a lot.
Yeah. People wanted Endgame. They got this. They wanted Endgame to come sooner, and this was a poor way to fill the time, as it were.
Well, it was also a flashback film, which I get it. They needed a flashback film film if they wanted to put anything between Infinity War and Endgame, but like it could have gone anywhere and it would have done better. The only problem is if they released this before Infinity War, everyone would have done the same thing they did with Thor and Hulk during Civil War, and that is, why aren't Thor and Hulk showing up?
Yeah.
And they just made Captain Marvel so bland and boring. Like, the only thing to come out of the Captain Marvel movie that
the Skrulls.
was Skrulls, and we met Rambo, didn't we?
Yeah, we met Rambo, and then she just dies off screen.
Oh, I meant Kid Rambo.
Oh, Kid Rambo, yeah. We met Kid Rambo, yeah.
Yeah, who shows up again in fucking WandaVision, and then now is in the Fox universe.
Yeah, now isn't got yeeted to the Fox universe.
But yeah, it's one of those where I don't think this film did well. I think a lot of people disagree with this movie anyway. Some for less than proper reasons. Like, there's some people that just don't like having a female lead, and there's nothing you can do about that. But that's not even the problem with this movie. The problem is, watch this movie and then watch the Marvels and see how much more character Captain Marvel has just by the fact that she gets to interact with other people.
Yeah. The fact that she's allowed to have character in the Marvels is what made me like the Marvels more.
Yeah, man, and Carol Danvers is a fun character. Every time she shows up in a video game, I'm instantly like, yeah, you rock.
Yeah. I also like the little bit of jibe she has with Captain America, because she's Air Force and he's Army.
Oh, yeah, a little bit of shit talk.
Yep.
Yeah. It's one of those, And I think some people got really, not tired, but poo-pooed the idea that she shows up for one movie and then in Endgame destroys entire fleets.
Yeah. She comes down and is Goku, and the entire fleet just ignores every other hero because she's more powerful than the rest of them combined.
Which, I don't like talking about power levels in anything because they're bullshit at the best of times, but Captain Marvel is a top-tier fucking entity.
Yeah, she is. However, she just got her powers from one of the Infinity Stones, whereas Thanos has all of them. So, Captain Marvel and Scarlet Witch, I think they're both bullshit because they shouldn't be as powerful as they are because of that.
Scarlet Witch suffers in the MCU from the fact that they fucked up everything about her. The Scarlet Witch's power comes from the fact that she controls chaos magic. The reason why she is so strong is she can do a lot of bullshit, but she doesn't have complete control. However, they do a really shit job of explaining that in the MCU because that's not how her powers exist in the MCU. Yeah,
absolutely. And also, normally, she's Magneto's daughter.
Yeah, normally.
Which is also part of why she's so bullshit strong, because they're good genes.
And then also the fact that I'm pretty sure that in the comic books, Captain Marvel's powers come straight up from a blood transfusion and have nothing to do with Infinity Stones.
Yeah, I think they're from Marvel, aren't they?
Yeah. Even Vision, I don't recall having that much. Vision's not a... Well, it depends on the comic run, but I was very confused when Vision was a robot made by fucking Tony Stark in the MCU.
I think he always was a... essentially Ultron's creation to be the next one that turned good.
I don't know about that, but I don't know enough about Vision in the comic books to say that, so fuck it, I don't know.
But yeah, by the same token, Vision always used to be a Hank Pym thing rather than a Tony Stark thing, which is why they've got an ant colony motif.
You meant Ultron, I assume.
Oh yeah, Ultron, yeah. I meant Ultron, but yes.
Yeah.
And speaking of the Ant-Man connection, my number 5 is Ant-Man 3 Quantumania.
I guess what my number 4 is.
I'm just here saying it's not the worst, but it retroactively became pointless thanks to the Jonathan Majors fiasco.
I think it was pointless beforehand because it's so fucking stupid having your main villain be beaten by Ant-Man on his own.
Yeah.
It's just one version of Kang, and when there's millions of Kangs, you've got no chance, and it's like, oh, fuck off.
Yeah, it shows that one hero can beat one of them. Or at least a micro team up of that hero's not so much rogues gallery, allies gallery.
Yeah, I also didn't like how they treated MODOK.
Oh no,
I want to believe that is not how the MCU's MODOK is going to be, but it looks like that's the only version of MODOK we're ever going to get in the MCU.
Yeah. No Patton Oswalt, which is a shame because I liked that show.
He's already got a role in the MCU. That's the problem.
Yeah, he does. He's that Faye in the Eternals. Eternals, ain't he?
He's like a satyr, isn't he?
Yeah, something like that. Yeah, he's
Anyway,
like the herald of Thanos' brother. Yeah. That's the one that gets it from me.
Well, as I've already spoiled it, Ant-Man is my number 4, so I'll just quickly dwell on it. The film is visually very nice. I enjoyed watching this movie for the visuals, but fuck, the story was dog shit.
Yeah, like even the aliens, well, not really aliens, you know, the microverse people, like some of them were like cool designed, like the blob monster. Like I like when slimes are portrayed in movies and things like that. As, you know, not just monsters.
I get you, man. It's hard to think of any positives about this film apart from the fact it looked decent. Which is, you know, an actual compliment at the moment for MCU movies, because a lot of them don't look great because they keep treating their CG teams like shit.
Yes.
But yeah, that was your number 5 and my number 4. So what's your number 4?
My number 4 is Captain Marvel. for exactly what we put down. Like, I legitimately preferred her characterization in the Marvels to the plank that she was in her own debut movie. It was interesting seeing a younger Nick Fury. I liked that. Some people were up on the 90s nostalgia because they remember being alive in the 90s. I remember being alive in the 90s, but I didn't have a lot of agency back then. It's like, even towards the end, like guess what? Like 14, 15, and best you gotta do is pocket money at that point, really, isn't it? So unless you've got a kid's part-time job which get paid nothing.
Paid super nothing in the 90s when there was no minimum wage laws for kids.
Oh yeah. So yeah, that's what gets my number 4. Who's going to be your number 3?
Number 3 is going to be Thor: Love and Thunder.
Okay, yeah. This escaped my bottom 5 entirely.
That's fair. I don't think this is a terrible movie by any stretch of the imagination. I think it was just such a waste of everything that was in it.
Yeah.
They introduced Lady Thor, and she's in Valhalla now. They introduced... The only thing that... the only takeaway from this movie I cared about was, we're going to get Hercules fighting Thor. Oh, no, we're going to have to wait until another movie for that to happen. And that's not on the docket.
Yeah, they've not even teased it.
If Hercules has a fist fight with Thor, it's going to be in someone else's movie. Rick, I think we've got some terrible lag because you keep talking at the same time as I do.
Yeah, my bad. Yeah, there's not even a prediction of another Thor movie, so it's not even going to be in another Thor.
Unless they make it a TV show.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, Hercules as a general character definitely can carry a TV show. Like, they had a Hercules show alongside Xena, for instance.
Yeah, no, that's a different thing, Rick. That was the historical Hercules, not fucking MCU Hercules, who is a very nothing character. The only reason Hercules is fun is because he constantly gets in pissing matches with Thor.
Yeah. He's also the face of Cool Story Bro.
Yeah, he is that. But yeah, I was going to say, so much so I have an anthology of comics that is just all the times Hercules has fucked with Thor. Thor almost definitely always wins.
Yeah, because it's normally a Thor comic.
But Hercules doesn't have his own run.
No.
But yeah, what's your number 3 then?
In a similar vein, it's Thor 2: The Dark World.
This is such a forgettable nothing movie.
Exactly, and that's exactly why. Like, I think I once said that I kind of preferred parts of it to Thor 1. It had some alright moments, but it really felt more like a Loki movie where Thor is there too, in terms of the character development.
Okay.
And yeah, that's more or less all I remember about it. Like, it was post-Avengers. No, it wasn't memorable.
Well, it's one of those where I didn't even watch this when it came out in the cinema because I looked at the trailers and I thought, nah, not for me. And the only reason I even watched Thor 2 is because 2 of our mutual friends decided that one of those mutual friends needs to catch up on all the MCU films before Endgame, or rather Infinity War at that time. And I just tagged along and watched a few. And they pulled Thor 2 Dark World out on me and I went, I don't want to watch this movie. I'm told it's shit. And then I had to watch the movie with them because I didn't have a ride home. So, yeah, that made me hate.
Yeah. Shame you've not watched Thor 3. I liked that one, but yeah.
I've seen the memes. I get it. It's a funny ha-ha movie, but like, I don't know, man. I like Taika Waititi and I respect him as a director, and I get that he just did the MCU for a paycheck. I'm not dissing any of that, but
not even like he
he said it in interviews.
Okay, but like, coming to Thor, he's going like, you've got a rainbow bridge and you don't play it for laughs.
Yeah, no, that's fine. You can have comedy in the film and you can take the piss out of certain elements. I'm just saying saying I want a bit more seriousness at times when it warrants it. And again, I'm not knocking Taika Waititi. He's gone on record as saying he wanted to direct an MCU film because look at that payday, and more power to him. At least he's honest.
Yeah, true enough.
It's just like, that's all 4 is now, is like, it's the Taika Waititi movie in the MCU.
Yeah, and that's the thing, like, the reason that Thor 4 got some of the hate was because it was just Thor 3 too. And
which I didn't even watch 4 3, and I could see that.
Yeah. So, what's going to be your number 2?
My number 2 is a technicality because I haven't seen the actual worst of this trilogy. It's Iron Man 2.
Right, okay. Yeah.
I haven't watched Iron Man 3. I'm not going to watch Iron Man 3, but I did watch Iron Man 2, and apart from the fact that it introduced Rhodey as actual War Machine, it's fucking shit.
It also introduced new Rhodey.
Well, yeah, but, like, the original Rhodey was in 1 movie, so who gives a fuck?
Yeah. It's one of those, like, I still think of New Rhodey as New Rhodey because I saw the original one and that's what got cemented in my mind to begin with.
It's really weird because Don Cheadle's been in fucking Rhodey for 10 years.
Oh,
and
yeah.
more.
Like, Don Cheadle was in frickin' Falcon and Winter Soldier for longer than Rhodey was in Iron Man 1. Like, I should really get over this, but it still feels like Don Cheadle is New Rhodey to me.
I mean, that's fair. That's a weird way of compartmentalising it, but I won't knock you for it. Like, Don Cheadle's just a genuinely nice person. Yeah,
and he does the character well, and weirdly, I don't feel the same way about Bruce Banner, simply because I don't think the Edward Norton movie needed to be canonized as MCU.
I didn't even watch that movie, so I'm not too bothered.
Yeah, like, the only thing that made it canon was the fact that, you know, the Abomination is the same guy in She-Hulk.
Yeah, but that's because Tim Roth's a legend.
Yeah.
Like, here's the thing, all right, and I think the people listening should probably hear this from me as well. I've never watched every single MCU movie. I've never seen the point, because I know enough about the comics to piece things together, even if I miss vital information. And nothing infuriates me more than the turbo nerd who says you need to watch every single thing in order to have everything make sense. And it's like, no, you don't. If a movie looks shit or focuses on a character you don't care about, then skip it.
Yeah, and the problem is that that's what Disney wants out of everybody as well.
Yeah, go on.
They give you all this required reading, and then, like, if you don't watch the thing, just sacrifice part of your limited time on this blue marble, that you're not going to get the full experience from the other thing that they make. And, like, I think they've done the right thing by really slowing down now. Like, I think there's only 1 movie coming out this year, and it's Wolverine and Deadpool.
Yeah, but they're not even slowing down, Rick. Well, we've had this conversation before, I'm pretty sure, where they're just transitioning from movies to series because they need to flog Disney Plus.
Yeah. But even then, I don't think they're actually doing one of those this year, are they?
I don't know. I don't pay much attention to Marvel stuff.
Yeah, fair enough.
Like, it's gotten to that point where I'm fucking tired of superhero movies. Unless it's something I really want to see. You know, I'm really looking forward to Fantastic Four because I want them to finally make a movie where they don't fuck it up.
Yeah.
But, you know.
Like, I watched Loki 2, and I enjoyed it. I didn't watch the Nick Fury Secret Wars thing.
I watched the first episode and immediately went, I don't like this. So I didn't watch the rest.
Yeah.
It's spy shit, but there's scrolls involved, making it even more annoying.
Yeah.
Like, it's just, it's like, it's going to be 5 more episodes of, is this going to happen? And ultimately nothing bad's going to happen. And if it does, it's not going to be permanent because it'll get solved in the next movie or series.
Yeah. It's anime bullshit, really, isn't it? Where they hype up the next episode by making something shitty happen in the ending of the episode before, and then it's solved in the first 10 seconds of the next thing.
The first episode ends with Maria Hill getting shot and a fucking explosion going off. I don't know if Maria Hill survives, but I kinda don't care. It's Maria Hill.
Yeah.
They haven't put much emphasis on her in the MCU yet.
Yeah, she like, all I can remember is that she shows up in like Avengers 1 on the helicarrier, and after that she doesn't matter in any way.
Yeah, because Nick Fury still exists. Maria Hill is only relevant when Nick Fury fucks off.
Yeah, and she gets control. Like, when she gets control of S.H.I.E.L.D., and, like, she's the driving force behind the Superhero Registration Act.
Yeah, but that's a very specific storyline, and that everything goes to shit in that.
Yeah, absolutely. The real original Civil War.
Yeah, well, we don't. It bothers me. You have to make a distinction.
Yeah, and not Civil War in the MCU or Civil War 2.
Civil War 2 was the fucking dumbest plotline ever, and it made Captain Marvel look like a complete shitheel.
Yeah, totally.
Oh, Jesus. Thought crime, guys. Thought crime.
And the worst thing was, technically she was right at the time.
No, she wasn't. She wanted to do something. I believe it was Miles Morales, but correct me if I'm wrong. She wanted to put Miles Morales behind bars because some psychic who proved to be unreliable at best said that they had a vision of Miles Morales killing Captain America, which didn't even happen.
Although apparently in that time of the storyline, Captain America was a sleeper agent for Hydra.
Doesn't matter. I don't care. Either way, Miss Marvel, or rather Captain Marvel, was 100% incorrect for putting someone behind bars for a crime they did not commit.
Yeah.
And also, just to put a little bit of icing on the cake, a young teenage black person. It doesn't make you look good, does it?
Yep.
When comics use a bit too much of a real life analogy, it gets uncomfortable. That's why X-Men is meant to be. At least X-Men is more subtle than not at all. At least you see people beating up mutants and not unarmed black men.
Yeah, it's allegorical. Yeah.
All right. Anyway, Iron Man 2. By all accounts, doesn't suck as much as Iron Man 3, but I never watched that movie. There was a time when, again, we were doing this catch-up series where they were like, we're going to watch Iron Man 3 next, and I went, I'm actually not showing up for that.
Yeah.
I don't want to watch Iron Man 3. I know it's awful. I know they butchered my boy the Mandarin. I'm done.
Yeah, thankfully they saved that, at least.
Not really.
Okay, they bring back a Mandarin and reference the one from Iron Man 3 by bringing him in and showing how much of a prick he realizes that he was.
But there's no real Mandarin in the MCU.
Yeah, not anymore.
What do you mean not anymore? Who was the real Mandarin?
The one in Shang-Chi who died. Like, he wasn't a villain, that's the thing.
I don't even know what character you're referencing, Rick.
Shang-Chi's dad. He was the real Mandarin.
No, he wasn't. What are you on about?
Okay, like, within the purpose of the MCU, he was the MCU Mandarin.
I don't think you're correct on this. And if you are, that's dumb.
Yeah, oh well, fair enough.
I don't remember them ever referencing him as the Mandarin.
Fair.
But again, I could be super wrong. If they did, that's really fucking poo-poo Shang-Chi in my mind, because that's stupid.
Yeah, a little bit.
I know the 10 magic rings are meant to be the Mandarin's 10 magic rings, but even that's fucking wrong.
Yeah.
Oh, fuck. Rick, what's your number 2 before I blow a blood vessel?
My number 2 is... It was a tough one to rank this as number 2 worst, because the movie itself is generally kind of okay. It's Black Panther 2 Wakanda Forever, and it's, for me, it's because Black Panther 1 was a tough act to follow without Chadwick Boseman, and it's possibly because I'm just real jaded by Lupita Nyong'o being an anti-vaxxer.
Yeah, by all accounts, she fucking was a nightmare to work with for that film, because, you know, everyone had all these strict standards, but no, I'm special, and vaccines caused the autism, so fuck you.
Yeah, like, she slowed down production on the movie that was being made during COVID, and she doesn't even have the excuse of being from a country where you have to, pay for healthcare. Like, she's British.
I didn't even know she was British, but it's a moot point. I don't tend to follow actors' personal lives. Like, the only time I hear about them is when they pull stupid shit like this.
Yeah, and the villain being Namor, who ends up not being a villain in the end because they have to make friends. Fucking sucked.
Well, don't forget, it's an allegory for both of our countries got colonized, so we must team together to destroy the white man.
Yeah.
I wish I was joking, but that really is what the message feels like. That being said, I have plenty of problems with Namor in this film. Mostly that they completely just decided, nah, fuck this, we're completely changing the law of, they're not Atlanteans, but they might as fucking well be.
Yeah, the not Atlanteans, yeah.
Yeah, and honestly, I was really looking forward to seeing what they were going to do with Namor, and then they did this, and I'm like, can't we just have him trying to fucking cuck Reed Richards? Because that is miles more entertaining than this bollocks. We also had another hero debut who I've already forgotten the name of because, again, they've not come up again since.
Well, Ironheart, yeah, Riri Williams. Yeah, she's going to have her own series, apparently.
Are you sure? Is she not just going to show up in Armored Wars with Rhodey?
Oh, yeah, she might be Armored Wars.
Because that was going to be a movie, and then they went, nah, this will be a TV show. And funny enough, I think I agree with them.
Yeah, probably. I'm hoping that they do Tony Ho well, because I like her pitch as a character.
I don't know who Tony Ho is.
She's the War Machine successor for when Riri Williams is the Iron Man successor.
Oh.
So in the regular comics, when Tony Stark was temporarily dead, Riri Williams became the only Iron Man, and then when Tony Stark came back, because it's comics, she just downgraded herself to Ironheart instead.
Sure.
And I think similarly, Tony Ho stops being War Machine and just becomes the new Iron Patriot.
I don't think she could have ever called herself War Machine, because most of the time whenever Rhodey dies in the comics, because it happens a fucking lot, his partner just says, no, War Machine, the name and the armor War Machine's been retired because, yeah, Rhodey's dead and fuck you, you're not besmirching his legacy.
Yeah. Actually, she might just be Iron Patriot.
Maybe so. There's a really fun comic book where the Punisher gets the War Machine armor. He gets it from Nick Fury, because Nick Fury says, we need you to destroy this third world country, and he goes, cool. By the way, I need this back once you're done, and Punisher just goes, sure, and then it cuts to his fucking inner thoughts of going, I'm not giving this shit back. He only gives it back when it turns out Rhodey isn't dead, because of course he's not, and it's just like, that's my armor, and Punisher's like, yes sir, soldier, and gives it back, because...
Yeah.
Punisher respects the troops, I guess.
Yeah. Like, he respects people worthy of respect, really. And doesn't
arguable.
respect people who are not.
That's very arguable.
Okay, fair enough.
Let's move on, shall we?
Alrighty. So, surprises.
I'm not going to surprise you. My number one's going to be the same as your number one, I'm guessing.
Yeah, it's the Eternals.
Yeah, it's the Eternals. Oh, God. First of all, this movie should have been 2 movies.
Yeah, either 2 movies or a series. Like, there are too many characters, none of them get enough depth. I think the only one that gets enough any depth or focus is the actor.
The actor?
Yeah, the one who is...
the Bollywood guy.
Yeah, the Bollywood guy who's like his own legacy of actors.
Yeah, I did love that gag. No, that character's the only one with any fucking charisma in the entire movie.
Yeah, the only character with any character.
And I can't remember their name.
Nope.
I can't remember anyone's name in this movie apart from Gilgamesh, because his name's Gilgamesh.
Yeah. I think Kamala Khan's mom is like really in love with him, because of course she is.
Yeah, it makes sense. People tend to poo-poo it for some reason, but Bollywood is fucking big.
Yeah. That's why it's called Bollywood and not just Indian films, because it's the Hollywood of the of South Asia.
Yeah, man. And one of my favourite Idiot Abroad moments is when Carl Pilkington and Warwick Davis get a walk-on line on a Bollywood film.
Yeah.
Do you know any insert Indian language here? And they're like, no. All right, we can give you a throw line. Speak these words in English. There, good, done.
Man, I was gonna think, do I know any Indian? No. Do I know any Punjabi? Yes.
Here's the thing, is I know India has like more than one language, so I didn't want to just say Indian.
Yeah. No, well, I wasn't even criticizing that. I'm just thinking, like, Punjabi is a language that is more associated with Pakistan, and that's also something that gets brought up during the Ms. Marvel show. Like, the whole partition where Britain was like, oh yeah, we technically have to stop being an empire, so good luck, everybody.
Yeah, Britain is the cause of, and not the solution of, many a problem in the world, including a certain one happening in the Middle East right now, but we won't talk about that. The weird thing about Punjabi is, boy, does that make wrestling more racist than it already was. So there's a wrestler called Great Khali, who I believe he is from India. He was certainly billed as from India.
Sure.
And one of his signature matches was the Punjabi prison match.
Oh boy.
And I'm like, oh, okay, so that's just super incorrect. It was already it was a fucked up concept anyway, because it's like, here's a cage made of fucking bamboo with sticks, which is already fucking like, what?
Yeah.
WWE's racism aside, the Eternals, it has many problems.
Yeah. They also missed the mark with... They could have done something with Kit Harington, and they fucking didn't.
Well, they did. The thing they did with Kit Harington is wait until he shows up again in Blade.
Yeah, they set him up to be Black Knight.
Except we didn't know he was going to be in Blade, and because no one knew that was Blade's voice until people fucking poked the director saying, who the fuck was that talking? And he went, it was Blade.
Yeah, like, it had to get released in articles around the time that the movie was new, because you don't see the character.
No.
It's just a voice.
Yeah.
Jesus. Oh man.
Yeah.
Oh.
They had a creature in the advertisements for this that looked a lot like a prototype Galactus design. So everyone was kind of like, oh, they're bringing in Galactus. That's a bold move. And no, they're bringing in this new race of creatures that immediately get dealt with. And by the way, the fact that there's a giant fucking corpse coming out of the Indian Ocean is just completely white-walled by the entire world in every other Marvel film. I think they mentioned it in Spider-Man for like half a second, and that's about it.
Yeah. There's this, like, country-sized head has appeared. Because the Earth is like an egg for, like, these galactic things, that it would have made so much more sense for it to be something like Galactus. But oh well.
Yeah, it's not clear.
Like, I don't know the Eternals lore in any way, so I don't know if this is meant to be, like, normal canon for them, but, like, whew.
Here's the thing that I think happened, Rick, is, okay, when James Gunn got the go-ahead to do a Guardians of the Galaxy movie the first time round, barely anyone gave a fuck about the Guardians of the Galaxy. So he was given fucking free reign to do what he wanted. He got reined in a bit for 2, and then given free reign more or less again for 3. And then, I think the same thing happened with the Eternals, because I don't think there was ever an Eternals fan ever before the Eternals movie, and then there was even less after.
Yep.
Like, I didn't know Marvel had someone who was basically just Superman in their catalogue.
Like, I think I knew about a Superman who was, I think they call him Hyperion, and the gag is, what if Superman had no morals?
That's not a gag, that's something that gets... There's like 2 of them right now in popular franchises.
Yeah, exactly. Like, there's Homelander, and what's the other one?
Omni-Man.
Oh, yeah, forgot about him, because, like, he has a character, is the reason that I don't class him as having 0 morals.
But, you know, that's basically what if Superman was evil, is basically it. Fuck, even DC has done it to death. Yeah, like, they've got Bizarro is... Bizarro Superman. But yeah, the Eternals is like a hands down worst one for us. I've got as my note, and the only note that I want for it, that I have it, is I want my time back. Wow, tough.
Yeah.
At least you've got a cheap cinema near you, so it's not nearly as much of a blow to your wallet.
Yeah, we've got... in fact, most of the cinemas near us have at least compatibility with Meerkat movies. So you can get 2 for 1 on Tuesdays and Wednesdays, as long as you buy some insurance through comparethemarket.com. This is not an ad.
Yeah, no, we're not sponsored. Fuck Compare the Market. There you go. If that's no, that's just me proving that we're not fucking sponsored. If I say fuck the Compare the Market, then we can't possibly be sponsored by them.
But, like, you gotta buy insurance for some things anyway, so you might as well get the benefit out of it.
Okay, for those of you listening along, you won't hear this, but Rick's roboting like fuck.
Okay. I think that's a good time to call it. Like, normally we do a pick of the best and pick of the worst, but I think the only ones that we had that were separate were I picked Thor 2 and you picked Thor 4, and I picked Black Panther and you picked Iron Man 2, or Black Panther 2 and Iron Man 2.
Basically, sequels suck.
Yeah, the only one on here that wasn't a fucking sequel was the Eternals.
Captain Marvel, dude.
Oh yeah, Captain Marvel, yeah. I mean, it got a sequel, and for once the sequel was better.
It was a low bar.
But yes. Oh, yes. It was a low bar. You didn't even have to bend over to limbo under it. Man, shit, that didn't work. But yes, if you liked the video, you've got the comment section down below on YouTube. And if you're listening via one of the many audio platforms, you can instead send us an email at
nonsensereviewuk@gmail.com.
It's going to be a goodbye from me.
Bye, guys.